I looked up turkey surprise on Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
Yeah, it's rough, right?
Well, the first, it's sort of like motorboating. But dirtier. It's already 9:30.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 108 of On the Rocks, the show that pairs video games and other stuff with their perfect drink. This is your host Kyle, and joining me today is the highly anticipated duo of Dave and Nathan.
You highly anticipate us always.
On today's show, we are talking about our video game turkeys and surprises. On the indie corner, on the indie corner, we're talking about Just Type This, Zombie Tactics, and Over My Dead Body. And then we're going to finish up the episode by talking about the trope Damaged Sponge Bosses. Damaged Sponge Bosses.
Sponge.
Shoot. Sponge, not sponge.
And as always, you can email us at podcastotr@gmail.com if you guys have any questions, thoughts, comments, and
random musings,
pairings of drinks and pop culture.
And if email doesn't get it done for you, you can go to Twitter, and we are at Giant Robot Party. Shoot us a tweet if you have ideas as well.
Hell yeah.
Or if you just want to say hi. We like saying hi.
Yeah, absolutely. Come and check us out. Give us a follow. And we're on Facebook as well.
Woo.
And that's our show, because that felt like an ending.
Dave, how's it going?
It's going well. It's finals week. I actually only have one final, because the rest are just like papers.
Yeah.
And that's Friday, so that's nice. I mean, today. Yeah.
Actually, 2 days from now. Or 3 days from now. This episode's coming up a little later than
Yeah,
normal.
we're doing something a little different.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we are doing something.
Yeah.
A little
But, yeah.
different. Anyhow. Yeah, I don't know. It's great. Besides, like, just having to study a little bit, I got to kind of catch up in some movies and honestly not even video games.
Very cool.
Yeah, just kind of enjoying the little bit of time off between actual classes and my one final now.
Yeah.
So, Nathan, you have finals as well.
I also have. Well, yeah, I had most of my stuff was due last week.
Same here. Cheers.
That's part of the reason that we've been off for a couple weeks, because I just had
Goddamn Nathan.
Yeah, I had to hunker down and get some stuff finished, and also some conflict of schedule during the week of Thanksgiving. But
yeah, that was my fault when Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Goddamn Dave.
Gotta go see that Cavs game, man.
Yeah.
They won. So.
Yeah, so it's been a little lighter this week. I just had to write some stuff and turn it in. I actually got a really nice comment feedback on my final project from my ed tech teacher, and he tweeted it out. We had to do a summary of learning, so it was like you could do video or whatever, and I really wanted to write it, so I wrote it, and he really gave me some good compliments and tweeted it out to all his teacher buddies.
Weird, interesting.
Yeah,
Nice.
and I gained a couple followers from that, and I felt pretty good about myself,
Nice.
so he had some good compliments on that. That was good.
Nice.
But as soon as I finished writing that, at like 5:30 yesterday, I got 2 Christmas sales in me, and I was playing video games, and it was nice.
Yeah.
And,
I played some with you. Cheers.
Yeah. I have one critique tomorrow. It's going to be easy peasy, and then I'm off for a month, so yeah, it's good times.
Awesome.
I wish my final was like easy peasy. Like it kind of is, but I feel like teach a class, but it's my professor and some of the other education department.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like teach them, and they're gonna be like making random distractions. I have to like manage the class and all this stuff
Okay.
while teaching the lesson plan that I made. So it's gonna be interesting.
All right.
Like I don't know how to study for that. That's like the kind of thing.
I'm-
Like I feel ready, but like not.
I don't feel like you can study for that.
Yeah, exact right?
Yeah.
Kyle, how are you? How are your finals?
I'm good. While you guys have been in school, I've been playing a buttload of games.
Awesome.
Yeah, do tell.
And during this break too, I played through The Evil Within, which
Nice.
was that game. Okay, so initially I didn't think that it was all that great, but the more I think about it, the more
All
it
that
is.
in a
It
bag of
is.
chips?
It is.
All
It is
right.
all that. I don't know about the bag of chips. Maybe like half a bag of chips.
Okay.
Are
But,
we thinking about talking about this game?
I would like
Yeah,
to.
I
I
would
think
like
it would
to,
make a really
Alright.
awesome episode because I think we'd have a lot of differing opinions
Opinions.
about
Okay.
things. But right now I'm just balls deep in Don't Starve again. I don't know what it is
Nice.
about that game. I picked it up like on a whim, thinking, this game, like you picking up flowers, you picking up sticks, and
I'm
then
kind of
maybe-
hungry today.
Yeah, and then
I feel like that's sort of the
it's-
nature of the game, right?
Yeah,
Is
but
like
it's-
you really dive into it when
but
you
it's
play it.
so it's the same thing with Minecraft where you get into the whole building your base, building your resources, and then trying to live as long as possible. And it's also up there with Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. We're just trying to live, last as many waves as possible.
Okay, yeah, you're talking about the Exo survival.
We're
mode.
we're,
Call
we're
of Duty.
Survival
at
mode.
a certain point. At a certain
Clarify
point,
that one.
yeah, sorry. At a
Don't
certain
starve.
point,
I'm
it
shooting
just,
all the trees.
Yes.
At a certain point, it just becomes like bragging rights, you know? Like, we've been going back and forth of like, oh, we've lasted 40 rounds in Exo Survivor on Call of Duty. Oh, you've lasted
Yeah,
50
you and I
rounds,
lasted 72
rounds. But like now I'm like, okay, I'm on day 120. And
Yeah,
like
120.
I just want to be able to say, oh, I've lasted like 500 days. I don't know, but
Oh my god.
it's just ridiculous, and that game is fun and
I feel like you'll last that
awesome.
many days.
I
So-
can't
Keep playing
imagine
it.
lasting 500
Yeah,
days in that
that-
game.
I can't imagine lasting 120. So,
So,
cheers to you.
but
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much what's been up.
Awesome.
Dave, do you want to explain what this episode's going to be all about?
Okay, this episode's in honor of Thanksgiving.
Go.
Yeah,
Couple weeks late.
so our turkeys are our games that we were excited for, but then
We're not
Led
we're not
to-
thankful for them.
exactly were a disappointment. Not necessarily they were like terrible, even though they could be, but they did not exceed or meet our expectations.
Yeah.
But to balance that, if you're going to say a bad thing, we're going to talk about our surprises. The
We have
games
surprises,
that where we thought maybe they would be bad or just okay, and they turned out to be way better than we had ever expected them
Yeah,
to
they
be.
sort of snuck up on us in
Mhm.
some cases, yeah.
And for a lot of these, at least a few of these, there are going to be games that we have not talked about on this podcast.
Yeah.
Because we've kind of explained throughout the year what our turkeys are
Okay.
and even what some of our surprises are. But I can guarantee you that we're going to mention a few of the same thing. So,
Yeah.
just prepare for that. So
Yeah.
Most of mine actually are what we've already touched on.
Yeah.
I've got things that we haven't.
as long
few
as
things that
we,
we have.
yeah, as long as we
I think I got a mix of both. So
Yeah. I mean,
bring up stuff that is not. Because I mean, if we spend an entire
yeah,
episode
no,
on
no,
something, if
we're not going to spend an entire episode talking about the same thing. Like, you just go back to episode
Yeah. Whatever.
85, and
Yeah.
listen to it. No. But yeah, there are going to be a few samey things, but a few new things. So
Yeah.
hope you enjoy.
Nathan, what drink are we pairing with? The turkey surprise. Is
With-
what I think I'm gonna call this episode.
all right, turkey surprise. I like it.
Which is a terrible thing you should never look up on Urban Dictionary.
Oh no. I'm going to look it up right now.
Yeah, I kind of want to know.
We are pairing the Cranberry Martini, which consists of cranberry juice, orange liqueur, vermouth, and vodka.
Nice. And I was thinking when we were pairing this drink, originally I was thinking something turkey flavored, but that's a little gross.
That's
So we went
maybe
with,
a gravy drink.
yeah, we went with the same Thanksgiving theme, and cranberry chutney is a common food that is on the side of all of our plates. So I thought that the cranberry martini, which after making a giant batch of it, it kind of reminds me of just like a really sophisticated vodka cranberry. I don't know if you guys have had many of those in your day.
I have. I can see where you're going with that.
Yeah, this drink is. I think it's good. I think I said it before. It reminds me of that girly drink that's on the menu of some cheap, like sports bar.
But
you
it's
know?
not. It's not a sweet drink, right? So
No.
It's kind of
I
sweet.
mean,
I
cranberry juice is a little tart.
yeah.
And it's not that sweet. I enjoy this drink. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at first. I was like a little. I don't want to say off put, but like it didn't hit me in the way I thought it would. But after we drank, like I had like my second sip and third.
Okay. Yeah.
I after I drank 2 liters of it.
Exactly.
I'm a big
so much
cranberry.
better.
I'm a big cranberry fan.
So is Hannah.
And
Hannah's a
the
big
music too.
Cranberry fan. I don't know if she likes.
So
the
was Adam
cranberries.
Sandler and Click.
Man, I haven't
2005 right
seen
there.
that in a long time. Christopher Walken is in that movie.
2006, I should say. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
As an angel.
Today's drinking
Christopher
game.
Walken is always an angel.
Except for in Peter Pan. Do you
No.
guys watch that, by the
No,
way?
he's always an angel.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, I didn't.
Kyle, go ahead. It was okay.
Today's drinking game is anytime we say the word bad.
Oh, boy.
Actually, no. Okay. I have a... Yeah.
Strong
I wager I wager a drink on Dave using it first.
Really?
I wager
Yeah.
a drink on
Should we wager
Kyle.
should we wager the turkey shot? That'd take too long.
It would take too long.
Yeah.
Prepare.
So just a drink.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
It's a long road when you're on your own, and it hurts when they tear your dreams apart. And every new town just seems to bring you down, trying to find peace of mind.
So, Nathan,
Yills.
do you want to talk about your turkeys? Go.
I'll talk about a turkey.
Do you want to go... actually, do you guys want to go
Let's
round
do
robin?
turkey. Surprise.
Okay.
Turkey. Surprise.
Okay. So we'll start it off with a game we all know and love, and that's Rambo the video game. I did not think that game was going to be good, but I did not think it was going to be the steaming pile that it was.
It's unbelievable that game actually came out this year.
I know.
I'm surprised that you thought it would be like okay.
No,
but
no,
also
no.
at the same time, I'd almost say it was a surprise for me because like I had fun playing with you guys.
Well,
And
For
I did not
one-
play it single player
for
though.
one level. For one level
okay.
with me.
Well,
Well, two level.
before
I played with Kyle a little bit. I think
Okay.
too.
Okay, so before you actually saw any sort of trailer gameplay, if you heard the idea of a 2014 Rambo game where you shoot a gun,
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
sounds,
Okay, yeah.
it sounds pretty cool.
It sounds like every other first-person shooter ever made.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
It was very poor.
I think it was the lowest scored game on our show.
I'm pretty
ever.
sure it is.
I don't know
Ever?
if that's proven. I'm pretty sure it's either that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure
or-
I gave it a 3.
I think we all gave it around there, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a 4
lower than
highest, I think,
5.
right?
Hopefully, I don't
Yeah.
remember, but yeah, that game
I don't
was.
Speaks to the quality of that game.
All I know is I gave Street Fighter the film 3.
I was gonna say you gave Street
So
Fighter the
much
finger.
Street Fighter the film is so much better than that.
I don't know about that.
So,
But
okay.
yeah, Rambo was a glorified on rails shooter.
Yeah, it was.
It was not very good.
It was an old feeling game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The sound direction, especially.
but it felt like it didn't belong on a console, but it was made for consoles.
Yeah,
Well, it felt like a downloadable game, not a disc-based.
It needed to be in
retail game.
arcades or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. it
yeah,
should've been
because it's on
arcade game.
rails.
And
Yeah.
they also need to fix that final level. Remember the
Oh my
difficulty?
Yeah, the difficulty spike in that is ridiculous.
Except for Nathan, I beat it. Boom!
Yeah, but we did beat it, but we also
Together.
beat it together, and we are also
When I was trying
two-
it by
two-
myself,
two Rambos as one.
Yeah.
We
Two
were-
Rambos is always
a
better.
dual wielding Rambo.
It wasn't even dual wielding really. It was just like if Rambo was two
Had
people
4
stuck
arms.
together.
Like Siamese twin Rambo.
Siamese Rambo.
That game.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot about that game that was any good.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
No.
So deservedly
yeah.
so turkey number 1.
Yeah, that is.
Rambo
I think
the
that is
game.
the art.
I still have a hard time considering it a turkey, but okay, sure. Yes. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. I mean, Kyle made the point, and I feel like it was a strong enough point.
Yeah, no, and I will agree. I just did not have it on my list.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm glad I had it on mine because it deserves to be there. What about you, Kyle?
Yeah.
So are we getting all of our things in a way? So are you done with all your turkeys?
No.
So are we
Do you
gonna
want
go-
to do?
I talked about a single turkey.
So are we gonna do turkey?
Yeah, let's go round robin. Let's go.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mix it up.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I should talk about one idea.
Well, I
And
have-
with the hopes of talking about another one later.
I mean, yeah, you know how I do, so I have a list.
So do I.
I thought you were going to talk about all like touch on some
Well,
and then
I-
highlight.
Well, I thought it would be nice to not talk all at once and
Okay.
just let
Yeah.
it go around.
And there's gonna be a few I think we share.
Probably, yeah.
So one of my turkeys this year is actually Thief, which
Ooh, Thief.
by Eidos Montreal. It was a game that when the PS4 and Xbox One were announced, that was like the big game. Everyone was really kind of excited about Thief coming out. 'cause
Yeah, I was.
I never played the original Thief games,
It was
but those
fun.
were very
They were on PC,
revolutionary
right?
Yes, they
for
were.
the most part. One of the first-person stealth games.
Yeah.
Was it first-person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Came out in like 2000.
And I knew a ton of people that were really excited about this game, but when I played it, it was just really clunky controls. A world that was sort of split up into multiple zones, and there was like really long load times between them, so you never felt like you were in this really living, breathing world, which is kind of sad because the environments that you did traverse, they felt really real. The lighting was really good. The people and the conversations that they had in them were nice, but they were small. And then every time you went into a new world, it had to load up, and it kind of felt like disjointed. The AI was really dumb. The lighting wasn't dark enough, so it wasn't like Sam Fisher and Splinter Cell where you're actually in pitch black and they can't see you. It was like dim light and they can't see you 2 feet in front of them, and it just felt really weird. And then the whole game was just really repetitive. You walk into a room, you steal stuff, you kill people, and then you walk out.
You know what's funny is that you had told me all about this, about Thief, and I had borrowed it from Alex. I had the game from him for 3 months, and he also had the same complaints as you. I never put it in my PlayStation.
Yeah.
I just gave it back to him. I was like, I'm never going to play this after like hearing about it from you and him.
I-
And I was looking forward to it, and I actually almost put it on this list. And I was like, but I never actually played it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played the demo, and I was sort of like, yeah, this isn't for me.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, Kyle turned me off so much.
especially
Rightfully
yeah,
so.
rightfully
I think.
so. Yeah,
in
yeah.
a post Dishonored world. This game didn't do enough to make it
Oh my
unique.
God,
Dishonored, it actually threw those weird like just not psychic abilities, but magical
Yeah, magic
things
things.
into it, where you could summon a pile of rats to devour people. Like that's fucking badass, and
Yeah.
I want to be able to do that. And you can
Super creepy.
the one
blink
the
places.
one redeeming blinking was really awesome. The one redeeming quality of this game was this
Does
swoop
BA
mechanic.
does BA count as saying the drinking word? BA.
No, I don't
Okay.
think so. 'Cause that's
Oh
one
no,
word.
no, because that's
It's a
and that's
different-
also that's the exact
it's a different.
opposite.
Yeah, it's a
of
different
what-
context.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
Okay.
No,
All right.
that does not count.
Continue.
Yeah, it's actually the opposite, right?
Yeah,
continue.
no, that does not count.
But yeah, overall this game it was underwhelming. I wouldn't say that I was one of those people that thought it was highly anticipated, but
I did.
I
would. So.
I just know for the most part that people were looking forward to it, and I just didn't have a good time with it. So
I mean, they touted it pretty early on, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Dave, what about you?
Okay, I'm not going to talk about my number one yet. So actually, I'm going to talk about number two, which was RBI Baseball 2014.
Did you play that?
I played the demo.
Okay.
I played it 2 games,
Okay.
and that game is just terrible. I really enjoyed the RBI Baseball games back when they were on the Nintendo and Super Nintendo, and those early generations. They were a very fun, like arcade style baseball game, and I was really looking forward to it when the MLB, like actual MLB, announced
Right.
that they were producing that game, and I was like, what? Because that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like no one had heard of RBI Baseball for like at least a decade,
Yeah.
if not longer.
I mean, I was aware of it, but I don't think I had ever played them.
It honestly could be like 20 years at this point.
Yeah.
1994 might be the last time that was heard of. But anyhow, so I was looking forward to it. I was like, oh, sweet. Like a awesome like arcade style baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
The likes of we haven't seen since like the Bigs. The Bigs was like more
I really
cartoony.
enjoyed the
Exactly.
Bigs, though, yeah.
And I was like, sweet, this is gonna be fun because I enjoy baseball sims, but I always have room in my heart for any kind of sports arcade game like
Yeah.
NFL Blitz or NBA Jam.
I mean, they're fun.
But damn, if this was just not good.
Yeah.
Like, the fielding was terrible because you couldn't tell where the ball was going to land. The hitting was timing hitting, which
Yeah.
I do in the show, which is fine, but all the timing felt off.
Okay.
You would swing. Okay, I know why. There was button lag, input lag.
Ooh.
So you would hit the button, but then it would take like a second or two to transfer.
Mm-hmm.
So your swing would always be late. So you always had to like try to time it early so it'd be
Yeah.
like on time.
Ugh.
There wasn't much pitching, and that was just like demo. And I looked up the full reviews for the game because I didn't buy it.
Yeah.
The thing was $20.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I
not
know.
based on that demo.
It's on sale on PSN right now,
Yeah.
and for $10.
No.
And I'm like, absolutely not.
If it was-
everything I've heard about that game just sounds like garbage.
Yeah, because it
Even
is.
even at 50% off.
Yeah.
you can't-
Even
Yeah.
at 50% off.
Phew.
That
I'm-
game would
I
be
would
a struggle
rather-
to buy at $5.
Yeah, I would rather waste $10 on something else.
Like Octodad, which I'm thinking about.
It's
right
like that's like $8 right now.
Exactly. Thinking about that.
Dadliest catch.
Mm-hmm. Thinking about that. That game
Man.
looks interesting.
Yeah.
But like you could it just played so terribly, and players were sluggish control in the outfield or in the infield, like when you're fielding the ball.
Yeah.
And there's only a few modes. There's like season mode and exhibition.
Yeah, and I
that's
heard
like
that
it.
season mode is surprisingly shallow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just a huge bummer for me because if that game was made right, it could be great. I still there's room in the market for a good arcadey game for baseball or any sport really. It's just
There
that
really
did not
is.
hit it. So
I mean, no one's really making the arcade sports game right now.
yeah. So RBA baseball. That was my turkeys.
Nice.
Nathan, back to you.
Okay, just a second.
Oh, you're typing.
Enhance.
We gotta stop all the traffic
Enhance.
lights.
Enhance. Yes. You were talking about RBI baseball and
Led you to think of something?
arcade baseball games.
Yeah.
And there's a game looking to come out soon.
Okay.
It's called Super Mega Baseball.
Interesting. Never heard of this.
Polygon has an article about it entitled One Indie's Quest to Make Baseball Games Fun Again with Super Mega Baseball. And I read about it, and it's sort of like a mashup of all of my favorite arcade baseball games. And I'm super excited about it, but I don't know when it's coming.
You should A, send me the link for that,
I
but
will.
also B, put it on the
Yeah,
Facebook
I'll-
and the site.
Yeah, I'll tweet it and share it on
tweet it.
Facebook. And I'm super pumped because I love games like The Bigs and Backyard Baseball when it was
Yeah.
good.
Oh, yeah. You've talked about it
Yeah,
a few times.
yeah. And man, I would, as much as I love the show, I do love a good arcade sports game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially baseball, because baseball is my favorite.
Baseball is very conducive to, like, ridiculous plays, just like basketball.
Yeah.
I think baseball out of the major sports is the least
Conducive?
conducive of arcade games. Yeah.
Really? You don't-
Football, basketball,
I don't know. Like, basketball, I think...
hockey. Yeah.
I think hockey's
baseball.
kind of the least in a way.
Ooh,
I think
I don't
baseball
know.
is like you
NHL
can have ridiculous,
I think-
ridiculous
I think
hits, like ridiculous home runs, ridiculous catches.
What Dave is talking about with like the crazy plays you can make makes sense, but I agree with Kyle that it's sort of the one that
I'm just
game
no.
play
Well,
itself.
no,
the
no,
one
let
the
me-
one that benefits the most from simulation, and the others lend themselves to arcade play more because
Well, when I'm
well,
picturing.
football,
Okay,
I
so
think,
no.
is
So
probably the most. But like
well, no.
hockey, I don't think so.
Well, it's NHL hits versus Slugfest versus Blitz versus
Jam or street.
Jam or
Jam.
Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's I think Slugfest by far is the worst of like all those types
Really?
of games.
I don't know. I guess I never played
I don't
hits.
know.
So
I
Hits-
didn't play Slugfest.
I played
but
Blades of Steel.
I played
Hits-
Bigs.
Yeah, but I think hits is
Yeah, Bigs I think is.
anyway.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think football
But,
and basketball.
Yeah,
we're
I
off
will.
topic.
I will post that to the Facebook and I'll tweet it out a link to the article. It makes me excited for it to come out.
Yeah, I kind of want to see that. So
Yeah, I'm ready. I wish they would hurry up and put it out because I'll pay money for it, which is always good. But next on my list is
Last on your list.
what? Oh, last.
We can't talk about 3 turkeys each.
Okay.
all right, fine. I got my last one.
All right. So
Oh.
my other turkey is a movie, actually, not a game, that came out this summer, produced by Michael Bay. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and man, I've loved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles since I was literally 2 years old.
A wee lad.
Yeah, literally 2 years old. My mom used to tell me all the time about how I was 2 years old and I had like the first episode of the cartoon taped, and I would watch it until the tape messed up, and I was running around, and I was always pretending to be a Ninja Turtle. I've always loved them, and Ninja Turtles doesn't necessarily have a great track record when it comes to feature films. The first one,
First one's pretty good.
from 1989 is arguably as close as you're going to get to the most faithful representation of Ninja Turtles. And then 2 was not quite as good as a movie.
You don't think it's as faithful? I think 2 is.
2 definitely is.
I think
faithful.
1 is a better movie. I think 2 is more faithful.
You
though,
think 2 is-
because
It's not for the comic books. If
it's
that's what you're going for,
goofier
Nathan.
though.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
the first one is faithful to the comic books.
2 is faithful to the cartoon.
It's almost verbatim to the origin from the comic books.
1 is or 2?
1.
Yeah.
2 would be
2
definitely like
starts
cartoon.
to get ridiculous.
Which
And I'm
I
not
grew
s-
up with the cartoon, so that's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah. I mean, I loved the first one anyway, but like appreciating it as an adult in terms of the comic book, I feel like it stands up. 2 started like bridging the gap between the comics and the cartoon and being sort of silly, and 3 was just horrible.
Time travel? You didn't like the time traveling?
Well, time traveling is fine. Turtles travel in time. But,
So I actually just recently
just-
watched 3.
yeah.
There's no action in that movie. It is like they only
I
There
just remember
are
someone getting.
2.5 fight scenes, I want to say.
Doesn't
it's
someone
terrible.
someone gets crushed by a bell or something?
Yeah.
And some kid gets trapped in a burning building. That's about it.
Yeah.
So
In-
long story short, Turtles haven't had a great movie track record, and I wasn't going into this new one with much confidence, but it still sort of made me sad. Yeah.
When you said you were going to be talking about this movie, I thought it was going to be under surprise because
No.
that was actually, if anything, this would be a surprise for me.
You think
Over-
it's a little better than you thought?
way
Okay.
way better than I thought it was going to be. But
It was a little worse than I thought it was going to be.
Maybe my standards are too
But
high for Turtles.
I don't know, because I was kind of with you.
my
It was a
standards,
little
my
worse than I
standards
thought it was
were
gonna be.
very low. I was not looking forward to this movie,
Yeah.
and it was fine.
Yeah.
So
I didn't think it was going to be particularly good, but I still was disappointed in it.
yeah,
Um,
awesome.
they're bringing Bebop and Rocksteady into the second movie.
Yeah, which actually I'm looking forward to
So-
the second
so
movie because
again,
like
Bebop. I'm hopelessly intrigued
yeah,
how they handle it, and I'm sort of mad at myself
because
but-
there's like a dumb fun way that could be handled,
yeah,
which could make that movie good.
and it's just I want to beat myself up about it. Just
want to Bebop yourself?
yeah.
Kyle,
So
Yeah.
turkey.
what about you?
My final turkey is a game that Dave claimed to be one of his favorite games of this year.
You son of a
No.
Shovel Knight, man.
Oh my god.
You
Are
shut
you
the
fucking
fuck
kidding
up.
me? Yes.
Ugh.
This game was way overrated.
Ooh.
Oh my god, that's actually
Man.
on my list of surprises.
It's
Spoiler
on
alert.
my list also.
Really?
Thank you, Dave.
Yes.
No, yeah, this game, no.
Oh,
It is-
you are okay. We're gonna mix this between turkey and surprises right now
Yeah,
because
no, I just,
you are insane.
No, let him go. Let him go. It's
Oh,
his turn.
I will.
It's his
I
turn.
will.
I mean,
will.
it's everything that I talked about in the episode that we reviewed this game.
You want
in.
to reiterate quickly?
Yeah. The game is pretty slow. The character when you walk around, it's very slow.
The
I always-
mechanics are slow.
Yeah, the mechanics
Okay.
are slow. When you swipe your sword, or your shovel, it's slow. I don't think that the the world is as explorable as the game says it is. You can unlock everything really quickly, and then at that point it's just kind of boring. There's no sense of sort of upgrading and creating a character. Like, that's what I was thinking. When I heard about this game, I just wanted this really epic adventure, and I didn't get it.
Okay.
It was a fine game. I didn't grow up playing Mega Man, so I know that that's the big draw of this game. It's a Mega Man. It's a Mega Man club.
Oh yeah, it's like the perfect.
But what I
SNES
was
recreation.
what I
yeah.
also was expecting was this really kind of cool Metroidvania where you're revisiting areas.
I don't know where you got that from, though.
I mean, you're unlocking items that can allow you to traverse different areas that weren't traversable before, and that happens in this game.
Okay,
but it's not as well done as Metroid, because this game, it's similar to Mario. It doesn't feel like a very connected world. Like, you're playing in different zones, and the bosses are interesting. The story is fine, but it's not like epic or amazing. I don't know. I was just expecting a lot more, because so many people were saying this is the greatest game, not only of this year, but one of the greatest games they've ever played.
Oh, see, I don't know if I'd go greatest game ever played, but like, I really enjoyed this game. It would definitely be in my top 5 of this year. This is my surprise.
And I'm gonna give this turkey to you, Dave, because you hyped this game up more than anything.
You did.
I did. I know I did.
And you
I'm
said
not
it.
saying
You
I
said
didn't.
it on a level that it could never reach. And there were just so many things that really
I think part of the
annoyed
reason that
shit out
it-
of me.
This was
Annoyed you?
Kyle's Borat.
Yeah, this is well.
Oh yeah.
I think part of the reason why that you didn't like this game is because you're playing faster paced games like what's that?
1001 Spikes.
1001 Spikes.
And
there
I was
one
I was playing that at the exact same time I was
Yeah.
playing this one.
Wasn't there another game he was playing that was also like a little faster too at this time?
I feel like 1001 Spikes was the
Well,
one
that was the
he-
main one,
He
but
drew
there's, like,
the most
something else.
comparisons to. I don't really remember.
There was something else. Anywho, but yeah, you were playing that and like you just couldn't stand it. And this game is like the perfect homage to Mega Man and DuckTales and all the old classic Capcom games, and that's why I loved it. Because I don't feel like you move slow. All the stages I felt were unique. All the backgrounds were interesting. All the bosses you
The
fought
music
had
is the
personality.
greatest thing
the
ever.
music is so good.
It's one of the greatest soundtracks of this year.
It's an
Yes.
awesome soundtrack.
But
It is an
besides,
awesome soundtrack.
besides that, I don't.
I never felt like the controls were bad. Like,
Okay, that's another thing. I never felt in control of my character, and if you
I
say
always
that,
felt like I was in control.
no,
of my
you
character.
never felt. No one ever felt in control of the character.
I
Doing
did.
doing the
I
downstrike
totally did.
thing, you never. And there's so
Yeah, I
many
totally
areas.
did. And
No,
by the way, I'll drink this because I said the B word.
Nice.
no, there's so many.
I was
areas,
right. Extra drink.
There's so many areas where there's like
All right.
really
That's why I drank that.
Okay.
really precise jumps or like weird things, and I feel like even after when you're in the late game, no one ever feels really in control. I don't
Are
know,
you kidding?
there's-
I always felt like I was in control of my character. If I ever missed a jump or like, not got hit necessarily, but like
There's
if
some
I
s-
miss a jump or like mistimed something, I always felt like that was my fault.
Yeah, I agree. I never felt like it was the game's fault, like the game cheated me. But at the same time, I see what you're saying about the character having sort of an odd feel to them physically.
They're like it's very
See,
like
actually,
chunky.
That's because
Yeah,
like
well,
you're again used to 1001 Spikes, but this is how I feel about Dark Souls, in a way,
Well,
because like there's like animation to it.
that's
Yeah.
that's a whole different thing. But
He's just trying to like get me in my own backyard.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
but that's
Souls.
exactly what you're arguing right now.
I'm gonna
No,
meet,
I'm
I'm gonna
not
meet you both
arguing
here,
it.
right? So, the thing about Shovel Knight moving slowly, I felt like he had a specific weight to him. when he was
okay,
moving,
so I'll
and moving him around, he was sort of slow because he was wearing a suit of armor, and that sort of felt accurate to me. And there were parts where the game felt punishing, but I never felt like the game was cheating me, and it was just like, oh man, if I had just done it a little better, then I would have gotten it.
Yeah.
And he did feel sort of slightly loose control-wise sometimes.
like even compared to Super Mario.
Oh,
Yeah.
I disagree.
I feel like he has a very different feel from Super Mario.
Well, yeah, but I mean, but not like in a I don't know. His control's bad. Kind
Well,
of
no,
way.
but I feel like there's still like a learning curve to it, and there's still.
Well, there's a learning curve to Mario. There's a learning curve to all those games.
Yeah,
like
I guess I can see where Kyle's coming from as far as like the controls aren't necessarily as tight as games like that, and I feel like even like its spiritual predecessor Mega Man had tighter controls than Shovel Knight does.
Yeah, and
I disagree.
in a
I
game
think
that's
like Mega
yeah.
Man feels just as floaty and weird when he jumps as
yeah,
Shovel Knight does.
I think he can a lot of times.
Okay.
As a guy who played a lot of Mega Man.
I mean, I didn't play a whole lot of Mega
it's
Man,
closer,
but I feel like
it's closer to DuckTales. I think the problem with
Okay.
Kyle is that like A, he did never play those games, and
Yeah.
it's also B, not his type of game.
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it was on my list of surprises as well. I didn't play DuckTales. I played very little Mega Man. It was a very difficult series for me, Mega Man.
Oh yeah, and, in this,
And I was surprised how much I enjoyed Shovel Knight. I was excited about it because it seemed like a cool idea.
so was
and I got it and I played it and I loved it.
Yeah,
And I was
I'm not mad at Kyle.
I was actually
well-
thinking recently about going back and
Well,
playing
no,
it
I
again.
am on
Okay,
the boss run.
Okay,
on the
cool.
second playthrough.
That's
right
a
now.
great part to be on.
Yeah.
Well, another
it's,
thing about me not liking Shovel Knight was also the 3DS. I
Okay.
feel like if I played
Yeah,
it on
I
PS4,
feel like so-
I feel like on
Okay.
PS4
Well, it's coming.
I would actually
Yeah,
And-
lucky
like,
for
I
you,
think
it's
I
coming
said
to
this
PS4.
on that episode.
I did, and your brother like shot me down like I.
Yeah. Well, he's like, "Who's this supposed to be collecting?" I was like, "No." But yeah, I feel like I think I said this right on the episode, or maybe afterwards. Where,
I haven't listened to that episode recently.
Yeah,
Did you?
It's been a while.
it's been a while.
Yeah, one of you. I'm pretty sure I told you at some point, but it feels like on PS4 with slightly better like the 3DS does have some.
I
the
don't.
slider
I
is
don't
not
feel.
very
I don't feel
good.
comfortable playing holding a 3DS.
Yeah, and like it's a little awkward in your hands, and I can see that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
when
Yeah,
this game
well-
comes out on PS4, I might consider buying it.
Oh, I'm
because
getting it.
my brother
I'm
paid,
getting it.
He backed the Kickstarter, and I got it for
Yeah.
free. And I
I
would
paid,
support that game.
I
so.
paid for Shovel Knight. I will buy it again.
Yeah,
I'll buy
so-
it again to play through it and to fight Kratos. To fight
Oh, yeah, that's right.
16-bit Kratos.
That'd be pretty badass.
As an extra boss, and just to play that game again in a new platform and to see if maybe the PS4 controller does
I think
lend-
it will.
lend itself to better control of Shovel Knight.
I
And
think playing that on a big
and,
screen.
and if
in
if
general.
that's the case, then I will gladly eat my humble pie.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's very much at home on 3DS right now, and I wonder also how it will play on the Vita.
yeah.
God, I bet so well.
Yeah, I feel like it will be very good on the Vita. I feel like the controls will be slightly more concrete on the Vita than on the 3DS. I feel like that slider is weird, and if your hands are not like the perfect size to use the D-pad, it's awkward. So I can't like fault Kyle for feeling how he feels about how it controls, but I also don't feel like it's as like awkward a control scheme as maybe he feels. So I
Yeah.
feel like I'm sort of in between.
Yeah, you're a good mediator.
the both
on
of
this
you.
right now.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Yeah, I don't know. I really enjoy that game.
yeah,
so
we,
I don't have
we've
no
talked
surprise
about
to talk
we've
about.
talked about Shovel Knight a lot now for
Yeah.
wanting
We
to touch
really
on that
have.
briefly.
I know.
Okay.
Dave,
I'm
final
gonna go.
turkey.
Okay. I'm gonna do a quick mention. Destiny. That's not my final turkey, but just check out our episode for that. You'll
Yeah,
understand.
we
I have nothing new to add to it.
we've talked a
honestly.
bit about how Destiny is a turkey.
Okay.
How it did not live up to the hype.
So,
essentially,
my
And
final-
then that's
yeah.
that's all we'll talk about.
Exactly. That's all I'm gonna say for that.
Yeah.
But my final is sort of a combo of a movie and video game. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I love Spider-Man. I know Nathan loves Spider-Man. And every time there's something new, I always have the highest of hopes.
Really?
I do.
Oh, of hopes.
Hopes. Not saying I know it's gonna be good. I just hope. I
There
thought
hasn't been a
the-
good Spider-Man game.
You know
since
what-
2, right?
No, I thought Ultimate Spider-Man
What
was really good.
dashes my hopes about Spider-Man? This is sort of topical right now. Marvel and Sony were in talks to get Spider-Man into Captain America: Civil War,
Yep.
and
it fell through.
it fell through. And Sony now, well, Sony Motion Pictures is on my shit list now because they screwed it all up. As much as I love the Sony PlayStation ecosystem right now, Sony Motion Pictures is not good in my eyes.
Nathan.
because they robbed us of Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, and that'd be awesome. Which
It would
actually, to be fair, like I'm a quick aside, I'm glad that Marvel didn't have the rights to Spider-Man because that's how we got like Captain America and Iron Man
Yeah.
and Guardians of the Galaxy because they wouldn't have taken a risk on that stuff if they had X-Men and Spider-Man.
Right.
You know. But anyway, Nathan, you would agree with me that the last good Spider-Man game was Ultimate Spider-Man.
Ultimate Spider-Man is probably the
PS2,
best, the
Xbox.
best modern Spider-Man game. Yes.
The last good one. I'll talk about the movie first because I guess that makes more sense.
Sure.
I had hope after the first Amazing Spider-Man movie that they could make a good sequel because Andrew Garfield, he is a good Peter Parker.
Mm-hmm.
I did not appreciate how he portrayed like getting his powers where he's like skateboarding and all that bullshit.
I mean, whatever.
That was kind of dumb. But Emma Stone is an amazing Gwen Stacy.
She's
and
amazing
their
no matter
chemistry,
what.
well, still,
I love Emma Stone.
their chemistry on screen is
Well, yeah.
just fantastic.
I agree. It's very good.
But Andrew Garfield brought the humor, and with today's like technology, they had like all the crazy fight scenes where he's like acrobatic and nimble and all that stuff. And so I was like, okay. After the first movie, it wasn't great. It was I thought it was good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was better than Spider-Man 3 from the last trilogy.
Well, that's
but
not hard to do. But.
True. There are elements of that movie I like. But anyway, I was like, okay, if they take their time with this, and they have all the same principal cast and director, they could really make a good movie.
Yeah.
And it's Amazing Spider-Man 2, they did. Mark Webb directed. They had Andrew Garfield. They had Emma Stone. And they fucked it all up.
Well, I won't go that far. I feel like it's still watchable.
Oh, it is. There are scenes. Here's my problems with Spider-Man 2
Electro?
for the movie. No, actually, I loved Electro.
Really?
I love Jamie Foxx Electro. They should have more of him.
Oof.
It was
I feel
Dane
like-
DeHaan as Harry Osborn and Green Goblin that I hated. That was thrown in. Like, they never felt like they were friends.
Green Goblin always gets thrown in when it comes to Harry.
I actually felt like that was actually one of the things I sort of appreciated for Spider-Man 2 and 3. Like, at least they set it up.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't great in Spider-Man 3, but at least it was set up.
Right.
Whereas in this one, it was like, this is ridiculous. Like, they had no chemistry. Dane DeHaan had, like, pretty much no reason to hate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It was just so bad. I'm surprised you said Electro thing because I actually thought Jamie Foxx was a very good Electro.
Okay. I feel like
It's just he didn't get much
villains,
screen time.
Most of the villains were weak in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Let
All the villains were weak in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Because the Rhino was in that too, and that was wasted. But Jamie Foxx, I feel like, was wasted because if he had actually had sort of a compelling origin story in a way, because he was like just
a little bit.
Yeah, like enough to make it interesting. Like, and he performed well. Like, Jamie Foxx is a good actor.
I
He's
mean,
fine.
I didn't dislike his performance, but
he just didn't have enough screen time. Like, they didn't develop anything in that movie enough,
Well,
other than
that's the thing is
Peter and Gwen.
You try and shoehorn everything in there, and it becomes a shit show.
Yeah.
So
after I saw the movie, I decided to play the video game because
how could it be any worse?
Yeah, and guess what?
It is.
It's so much worse. It is so much worse. It's still very nice to swing around the city. And that's probably the only good thing I have to say about the game.
I've purchased one Spider-Man game since Ultimate Spider-Man, and it was Shattered Dimensions.
Oh, I
enjoyed that game. But apparently everything after that is...
I'd never played Shattered Dimensions or the one after that.
Good. I like Shattered Dimensions.
What was
the
Web of Shadows was decent.
Web of Shadows.
I played
I
that.
liked that one, but I didn't own it.
I did.
Yeah.
For a while. That was pretty good. Not as good as Ultimate Spider-Man. But swinging around cities is the only good thing about Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
The graphics look like they could be PS3.
Oh,
like
man.
early PS3,
Ugh.
Xbox 360. There's a lot of pop-in, fog, that kind of stuff.
Yucky.
Character models don't look great. Spider-Man does, but he's the only character model does. The fighting tries to be a mix of Batman Arkham Asylum with a few extra button presses, but it never feels right. There's button lag in there too.
Ugh. I'm glad I never picked
and
that
the
game
story is just terrible. They try to do like a semi-sequel, like a Spider-Man 2.5.
up. Okay.
And it just doesn't work.
Gross.
Doesn't work at all. All the side quests are terrible. It's like stop random crimes, take photographs. I can't recommend that game at all. But like, I always have hope because Spider-Man's like a compelling character, and those games could be fun. They just
could be
never capitalize.
No one can figure it out.
Yeah.
It's only happened a few times.
Neversoft had it for a minute.
They're pretty good, yeah.
With the original Spider-Man game and
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2, and then they got absorbed into the Call of Duty franchise and basically disbanded, and it's never been the same since.
Yep.
Nathan, what would be your biggest surprise of this year?
My biggest surprise probably is South Park: The Stick of Truth.
I had that on my list too.
Cool. South Park doesn't have, a great track record when it comes to video games.
No. Chef's Love Shack on PS1. Greatest trivia game ever.
But Trey Parker.
Chocolate salty balls.
Yeah, exactly. In my mouth.
Put it in your mouth and suck them.
You sound exactly like him.
Yeah.
I can't deal with it.
Rest in peace.
Yep. I didn't have big expectations for this game, but Trey Parker and Matt Stone were on board the entire time, to the point where it got delayed quite a little bit, and it was worth it.
Yeah.
It's
Agreed.
basically like playing an 11-hour, 12-hour episode of South Park.
Yeah.
And a surprisingly good RPG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It's a very beginner RPG.
Yeah,
but that's not a bad
Well, I
thing.
mean, it had a very, very close to action RPG to it. It was still turn-based, but it was very active, and there was a lot of stuff to do in the game, a lot of humor, a lot of South Park's essence translated very well from screen to console, and this was quite a pleasant surprise for me.
Well, they helped write the game, didn't they?
They did.
Matt Stone and Trey Parker.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the humor translated into cutscenes and even, like, some of the battle dialogue.
Yeah, but it was also a learning process for them to figure that out.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh,
how
I
that
agree.
works.
Oh, I agree.
And they did a beautiful job, and yeah, it's one of my favorite games of the year, easily.
Yeah, we all beat that, like, in a weekend, didn't we?
Yeah, it was...
Like, we just couldn't stop playing.
Yeah, it was really quick, really addictive, quite a lot of fun to play. And I didn't expect a whole lot from it because it was a South Park game.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was pleasantly surprised.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and coming from me, I've watched maybe a handful of South Park episodes. I didn't really grow up with that universe, but it was just still as engaging because the humor is just...
It's there. It's spot on.
It's universal, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know. It's like anyone who like, if you don't find this kind of humor funny, I don't even know why you'd be playing this game. But
Right.
it was just really fun. And I'm sure if I grew up with the episodes, I would get more of the jokes. But I mean, it's still, I had way much more fun than I thought I would have.
Yeah, there's a good amount of fan service in the game.
Yeah,
But
Yeah,
But I
but they
feel
do a
like-
good job of not making that, like, the focus.
yeah, it's a nice nod to the fans, but it's still funny for people who are sort of like casual fans, like Kyle, who
And
just want to play the game and can still appreciate the humor.
yeah, and it's just amazing thinking that this is their first game in this style, at least. You
Yeah.
know, like it feels like a franchise that's been around for a while when you pick up and play it. Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't.
I mean, they went to a studio who had prior experience with this style of game,
Obsidian.
the RPG.
Yeah,
So
but
Yeah, and I'm glad that the graphics match the cartoons, like, the show style, like,
Yeah.
pretty much pitch perfect.
oh yeah,
But also, like, the gameplay itself was easy to figure out and medium difficulty to master, I
Sure.
guess, in a way.
I agree.
And they even had the thing where when you equip different armor, it actually made your character look different,
Yeah.
which is such like a small thing, but I
It's
appreciate
nice.
that so
Yeah.
much.
Exactly.
it's
It's
an
just-
awesome game.
It was it is one of the best episodes of South Park that you could like watch/play.
Yeah.
South Park, it cannot, stick of truth, cannot recommend it enough.
Yeah, it's great.
If you have not played it, if you love South Park, if you like RPGs, or if you just want something funny, like if you appreciate crude humor.
Yeah, if you like crude humor, then
you play it because it's not long. It's really not. It is like a 12-hour game, but it is so worth it.
I can appreciate
so worth it.
I can appreciate the length of the game, though.
Yeah, it stuck around just long enough.
I agree.
Where it did not get annoying.
Yeah.
Which it easily could have fallen in that trap of, where if you had to like grind or do anything like that. I hope they make a second of this.
That would be nice.
It'd be amazing. So, Kyle, surprise.
My biggest surprise, it's funny because I mean we were talking about it earlier and how we don't really play too many terrible games, for our show at least, and now
at
like
least this group hasn't.
Yeah.
And me personally, I don't really like to play a game unless I've heard decent things about
Sure.
it. And when I picked up 1001 Spikes, I mostly picked it up because I heard sort of heinous things about it, and
it was
mostly
punishing,
and that it was punishing. And I
Yeah.
mean, I've played games like that in the past, like all of the Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2. Those games are punishing and difficult, and only badass hardcore people can play it. So I picked up 1001 Spikes thinking, oh, okay, I mean, this isn't a genre I'm used to because I don't really play that many 2D platformers, but this game, while it was frustrating in a lot of areas, what it not lacked in frustration, but the sort of sense of accomplishment you get from completing a level was just, it's on par with games like Dark Souls, where you beat a boss or something and you just feel like you're a badass. And when I finished the game and beat it, knowing that I was one of the few people that have beaten the game, because it's that hard of a game, because it's so punishing. You're playing this platform where anything can kill you in one hit, and it's just, you feel almost like a 2D pixelated Indiana Jones running through these environments, shooting snakes, and like it's so retro, but I feel like they got the controls perfect. Like I don't want to compare it to Shovel Knight too much, but it's like, you watch me play it sometimes when those stages where you have to jump the boulders, and like there'd be times when I like I don't know, it's just I felt super in control, and it was always when you mess up, it's always your fault for not seeing the trap, not seeing the boulder, not seeing the pattern or anything, and it's a really rewarding game that I think I got a trophy for beating the game technically in under half an hour, like total playtime. Total playtime when you beat the level, even though I died, they give you 1,001 lives, and I used them all up throughout this game, which is ridiculous. But I don't know. It's just, the game is just, for as punishing as it is, it's just super rewarding, and in the end, that's all that I was just. It sort of changed my gaming life in a way, in that I felt like I wasn't just that casual gamer anymore. I was sort of an accomplished gamer, that I'm doing things that not too many people can do anymore.
Congratulations.
But, yeah.
Thanks,
I mean, we played that with you a little bit, and I can attest to how satisfying it is to finish a level, especially when you're playing the co-op levels.
The co-op is just ridiculous.
Yeah, because you all have to get to the same point.
Yeah, well, you're chasing the screen or running away from the screen. So eventually, like if someone can't keep up, you'll die just from not being fast enough.
Exactly.
But
so there's some coordination that goes along with it as well, where you all have to be in a relative sync.
Yeah.
To get through it.
But yeah, it's one of those games where if you watch someone play it, minus your brother Dave, who I don't know why he thinks that this game looks modern, but it feels to me like a retro game, from the music to to the graphics to everything.
It's very much like that.
Yeah.
I had way more fun with this game than I really thought that I would have. So. What about you, Dave? What's your big surprise this year?
I think my biggest surprise was Hitman Go, which is on iOS and
I
Android.
think a game that we all have. I haven't played it yet, though.
I've played it a little
Guys,
bit.
you have to.
I played a little bit.
It is it's based on the Hitman series. We reviewed Hitman Absolution, so if you want to kind of know about the series, go listen to the episode. It's informative. But this is where it is a board game in a way. You play as Agent 47, and you're still trying to assassinate targets and all that. But it is I don't want to say grid-based because that's a little too
It's
general.
not a grid.
No, it's not a grid. It's like a path-based. I don't know how to describe it. It's like a board game in a weird way on your phone. You can follow. You have your Hitman 47 piece, and you touch little areas like circles that you can move to. While there are set patrols of enemies and your character that you have to like assassinate.
It's like a puzzle game.
It's like an
Yeah,
abstract
it's
game of chess.
Yes, it is a very abstract puzzle game of chess. You have to find the correct route to move to take down the bodyguards or avoid them to get to your target, or at least to get through the level to move on to the next level, because like they take place in different rooms. Like, so the first level you're taking place, you're trying to get through a villa. So you start at like the tennis courts and before you move into the main house, before you move up like to the upstairs. So it's very minimalist. All your characters look like just clue pieces in a weird way. And it sounds easy to just move through a level, but like Angry Birds or Cut the Rope, you can get like 3 stars by either collecting the intel that is found each level, which makes you take extra turns, or killing all the bodyguards, or not killing all the bodyguards, or fulfilling certain objectives.
Right.
So it's actually pretty easy to progress through the game, but if you want to get the highest rank, you have to fulfill each objective, which is hard to do.
Yeah.
And will take multiple playthroughs. Like, collecting the intel will mean that you can't complete the objective of beating the level in 13 moves or something. So you just kind of have to plan out your moves. I got this when it was on sale for $1. I think it's only regularly $5, which is not bad. And it is really amazing. It brings all of the elements of the Hitman series of putting on disguises, taking down adversaries stealthily, and trying to get your target, but into a mobile game without having to use shitty like on-screen virtual joystick controls, or trying to like port the first game over without like any of those kind of hiccups. If you're looking for a puzzle-based board game, I was trying to think all day of a way to describe this, and this is the best I can do right now.
It's so unique.
It really is,
And I love how it's night and day from the game that we played.
It's not the same game. I enjoyed this more, I think, than the actual regular series. Yeah, because all the levels are bite-sized. It's the perfect mobile game. It can take you like a minute to get through a level. If you want to get all the bonus objectives, it'll take you a little bit longer, but still, like, even then, still pretty quick.
Yeah.
And even then, it's like tough because you have to figure out the patterns of movements. You have to figure out your perfect path. It's really good, and I recommend if you have an iPhone or a Droid or an iPad, pick it up because it's well thought out. The graphics are good. It's really fun.
It's a very good mobile game.
Yeah, it's a perfect mobile game.
It works well. Do we want to talk about some listener feedback for the question?
I say we
about,
do that at the very end.
We're at the very
Is this
end.
not the end?
Yeah, we're at the,
Oh, I thought we were doing one more.
this is the end.
I thought we were doing one more round.
Oh, are we doing another surprise? I thought we were doing
Okay.
one.
I thought we did
That's-
2 turkeys and 2 surprises. I'm sorry.
I know, but didn't I say one surprise?
Oh, did you?
I thought one surprise.
I missed that. I'm sorry. I was looking at my phone.
I mean, we can go 2.
No, we don't do 2.
Okay.
gonna be a
Do you want to
long
do a quick
episode.
mention then? Because I'd like to mention Guardians of the Galaxy real quick.
Okay. That was a good surprise.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Are you still recording right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So one other real quick surprise was Guardians of the Galaxy, the movie. It's a Marvel-based property, team of superheroes who basically Guardians of outer space. It's a team that I'd never really heard of or knew anything about, and I'm pretty sure most people didn't, unless you're a hardcore Marvel fan. But guess what? That movie is amazing.
It's a very good movie.
It is really good. It's funny. It's got a lot of action. Chris Pratt and everybody else does a really good job in it. Yeah. If you have not seen it, it just came out on DVD and Blu-ray this week, and I highly recommend you check it out. It's weird because there is a tree and a raccoon, talking raccoon, but it's really good. It's unique. It's fun. That was my biggest movie surprise, and you should check that out.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good one.
The talking tree wasn't weird for Dave. It was the talking raccoon.
It was the talking raccoon.
It really was, yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna forego my second surprise and talk about some answers to the worst games and biggest surprises from Facebook. Doug says that Journey is his biggest surprise.
Yeah, which I'm surprised that it took him so long to play, because I feel like he's been a big PlayStation fanboy.
Yeah.
And but after saying that, I mean, Journey is a game where you hear like little things about it. You're like, oh, I heard that game's fun. But you don't really know like what you're getting into before you play it. But man, when you play through that game, and I'm assuming everyone who plays it through in one sitting.
Okay.
It is an amazing experience.
Is it that short a game?
Yes, it's a very short game.
Okay.
I think the majority of people play through it in one sitting.
Okay.
It's very short, but it's beautiful, it's emotional, and it's not like anything you've ever played before. So that's definitely a surprise, but it's also a game that it's come out a few years ago, so I'm surprised that he is just playing it now.
Is that coming out to the PS4?
It is.
Okay, because I want to play that so bad.
Journey is?
Journey is coming to PS4, yes.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. And Luigi talks about World of Warcraft, and he says that Warlords of Draenor has been
a turkey
making World of Warcraft better than ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can't imagine that any sort of World of Warcraft expansion would be a surprise.
Right, but apparently this is.
Yeah.
And I would trust him because I feel like he's been playing it forever. So, and he also cites Hyrule Warriors, and he was surprised that how well Dynasty Warriors fits with the Zelda universe.
Yeah.
And he agrees with me that South Park was a surprise as well.
Yeah.
So, awesome. Just a little bit from our friends on Facebook.
Cool.
Once again, we find ourselves where two indie streets meet
at the Indie Corner. Indie Corner.
Despite the bad voices, that was slightly better. Since
cool.
you guys
want to hear Kyle
Nathan's
voice.
Oi,
oi,
at the Indie Corner.
Indie Corner.
That's all right.
Spot on. Good job, Kyle.
I played Over My Dead Body. What'd you play, Dave?
I played Just Type This.
And I played Zombie Tactics.
I want to hear about Zombie Tactics first.
Me too.
Okay, so regale us.
Let me read your score then.
All right.
Enhance.
Enhance.
Computer, enhance.
Enhance. Zombie Tactics is a tactical turn-based zombie survival game featuring full story survival mode and 4 alternate endings.
Whoa!
It's made by ePace, which is an independent game developer from Pennsylvania in Ohio. I mean, not in Ohio, Pennsylvania in the United States.
Whoa there.
I've had several Cranberry Martinis.
Yeah, which is weird because I haven't had any, so we're good.
Pennsylvania in the United States.
Oh, okay. Which part of Ohio is Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania is
eastern part.
The most eastern part of Ohio.
outside of Ohio's border, actually.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
So far east that it does not actually fit inside Ohio.
Yeah.
He also made former Indie Corner gem Defend Your Nuts that I also played.
What?
What are the odds?
Collusion.
I know. I'm just a good picker, apparently. I didn't play a whole lot of this game. I played a bit of it. I got busy. I didn't feel the need to go back to it. I was a little underwhelmed with zombie tactics. The graphics are fine. Some nice animated graphics. But I didn't really... I'm sort of picky when it comes to tactics. Like, I didn't like XCOM, but I really enjoy Hero Academy.
Yeah. That's definitely not your genre necessarily.
Yeah. Zombie Tactics has a weird thing where you go first every single time, and you just kind of have to guess where the zombies are coming in.
Oh, that's
And
kind of weird.
yeah, you have 3 survivors to start. You gain at least one more survivor. You may gain more. I don't know.
Quick time out. Do you start like in a house or like
No.
what?
There's a slight story to it about how the zombies start. And you're just like 3 survivors in the street.
Okay.
And each character has its own abilities. There's like a medic and a short range guy, a long range guy. And then you gain another character later who has both short and long range, and you can upgrade your characters as you go. I don't remember much about the sound. Limited sound effects. I feel like maybe there's like one song that goes with it. I wasn't particularly enthralled with the game, as I stated, where I didn't come back to it very much. I probably wouldn't recommend it, but I'm not a big fan of tactical games. It seemed like maybe you shouldn't go first every time. Maybe the zombie should go first, and then you should react
That's what it
to them.
seems like.
Because zombies come from off screen on, and
Yeah, when you said like you move first, that seems like bad design.
yeah, you move first every time. It's not a particularly good move. Most of the time I do nothing and let the zombies come in and then move in reaction to them.
Again, that seems like a good choice.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a particularly difficult game as I play, but not a game that I like all that much. So I don't think I would recommend Zombie Tactics.
Okay. Well, I played Just Type This. It was made by Zapped Cow. It's a browser-based game. It's on Congregate and a whole bunch of other things. It is a typing game, like a Mario teaches typing. If you
Sure.
are obscure enough to remember that, it teaches typing in a very minimalist style because it doesn't actually tell you like. Mario teaches typing tells you like where to place your hands,
Right?
And you move through a level and like you have to like hit the certain keys to do certain actions like jump or jump on Goombas, whatever. This, it actually just starts out, and it says click here to start, and then it just shows the title screen. And it actually took me like a few minutes. I was waiting for it to start. I was like, okay, so is there gonna be like a cutscene, or do I need to keep on clicking here?
Yeah.
Until I figured out that I actually had to literally type in just type this. And that was the first level of the game.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I felt really dumb. Because I probably waited like 5 minutes.
It's kind of like a
I was
meta
like,
game.
Damn it. So yeah, this game is really interesting because it is just words on a screen. Like I said, the title screen is just type this. You have to type that in. And then you have a little character who's like your little bouncing ball to show you what letter you are on. In the style of like Super Meat Boy and games of that ilk. Like not much detail or anything like that. It actually works surprisingly well. It's like a little blonde-haired guy with like a blue shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So the first few levels are you just like typing in just type this, and then like there are various phrases like on each screen that the guy is like the creator is communicating to you. Like, it is like he's telling you a story, but also communicating directions at the same time. The game is interesting because the letters after the first like 3 levels, there will be traps on the letters. Like spikes will come out of them, or spikes will fall from above, or there'll be blocks that you see at the beginning of the level that go up and down at a set rate, like speed of time. So you have to time your typing to the traps. And as you go on, it obviously becomes harder. And the first couple levels are just like one trap at a time. But it comes to the point where the first letter will have spikes coming up, but then there's like 3 in a row of blocks like going up and down. So you have to time your jumps, like when you hit the actual key to make that. And all the while, like the creator is like writing sentences that are like basically making fun of you in like your typing skills and things like that. And honestly, that's it. You're just trying to like type for your life.
Nice.
And I absolutely loved it.
It's
It's actually a lot of fun.
It sounds right up your alley.
I'm playing it right
is.
now. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's easy
Shit,
to get like the hang of it, but it's a game that's like hard to master because you have to time your typing and also have your hand placement in the correct spots for typing. So it is like a teaches typing game, but without the explicit directions.
I feel like if they told you where to place your hands on the keyboard, that would turn it into that game you play when you were in, I don't know, 2nd and 3rd grade and learning how to type for the first time, and it would turn off like actual gamers as opposed to
I agree. That's why I brought like Mario Cheese typing, because my mom bought that for my brother and I played the hell out of the game. That's honestly how I learned to type a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this is like that, but it just doesn't show you, and I think that does make it more interesting and aggressive in a way.
Yeah. Nice.
I would totally recommend checking it out, because you think you can type like well, but
this game kicks you down if you notice.
It does, because like you can type well, but also like you get over eager about it and you'll like jump the gun and like die. As Nathan probably
I'm
just
dying.
And it's not like resource intensive or hard to figure out. It's literally just typing.
Nice.
I had a lot of fun with this. I'm going to play it again.
Recommend it.
So I recommend it highly.
Just type this.
Yeah, just type this. Highly recommend. Do it. Kyle, you.
Awesome. Over My Dead Body by Dune World. It's a gaming collective, I guess. But the story of this game is you play as Noel Brody, a former scientist for the evil Mortigo. Sorry.
I can't read your notes. This is good.
For the evil Mortigo Consolidated, who after protesting the use of her first... I can't even read my own. Even though it's
typed
on
your phone.
My glasses are... I
like how you make fun of us for writing our notes, and you can't read your typed
I need
notes.
to read it over my microphone, and I can't.
Do you want me to read it for you? Can you show me the notes here?
Noel Brody, a former scientist for the evil Mortiga Consolidated, who after protesting the use of her work as a weapon is subjected to it.
Oh my God, you are the worst storyteller.
Read it, Dave.
I can't read. I'm too drunk right now.
Over My Dead Body by Dune World. Noel Brady, a former scientist for the evil Mortiga Consolidated, who after protesting the use of her work as a weapon is subjected
Dave can't
to
do
it
either.
herself.
I'll try.
Because no. Now as a twice dead creature of the night, she must fight her way through the Mortiga Consolidated headquarters in order to A. find a cure for her affliction, B. reclaim her experiment, and C. possibly even have time for a little revenge.
Nice.
He wrote it weird on his notes.
I copied it straight
Yeah,
from
You-
it's
the
probably
Not
the
website.
subjugated is the word you wanted to use in there, by the way. Anywho,
Subjugated.
move on.
Anywho, okay, so the game is basically this isometric puzzler game where you control two beings. You control. Okay, so due to this accident, Noelle is broken into this sort of beast creature and then this ghost form, and you control both of them. You control the ghost form with the WASD.
It's a ghost and a zombie, right? Basically?
Yeah, and then you control the zombie with the arrow keys. And
Okay.
the ghost can go through walls, can flip switches for you, open doors for the zombie, and then the zombie is the one who kills the guards and everything.
Has like attacking. Is it only attacking? Is that it? As far as you know. Anyways.
Yeah. As far as I
Okay.
know. But basically, controlling these two characters is one of those sort of rub your belly, pat your head type
Is it
gaming
real time?
mechanics. It's real time.
Oh.
The enemies sort of patrol the halls, and you have to like walk. You have to move the ghost, and you can distract guards, and you can hover over them, and they'll be like, "Oh, there's a ghost in front of me," and they'll like stop, and then you can take the zombie person who can kill people in one hit. But there's a lot of instances where you need to sort of open doors and then distract a guard immediately, and then walk through the door before it closes. And there's, it's a really interesting game with a cool concept, but
Controls are just
the
awkward.
controls are a little awkward, especially because it's the isometric view, so it's not straight like forward. There's like a weird tilt to the whole game. It's got a good cell shaded look to it, and they do some really cool mechanics where you can take the ghost person, you can possess people, and you can walk around as them and flip switches that you would not normally have access to.
Okay.
But it's mostly just a game of rooms, and it doesn't feel very connected in that way. You know, it's
Is
like
there more of a story than just the prologue?
well, the funny thing is when you play the game, you don't feel the story at all. But when you watch the trailer to it, like what I sent you guys,
Oh, weird. That's where you get the story from?
that's where I got the whole like. I mean,
Oh,
but
that's
well,
weird.
I got the typed out story from the page, but the whole her splitting into two, you never get that from when you actually boot up the game.
Oh, that's,
You get that from the trailer, and
boo.
that's
Interesting.
yeah. So I don't know why that's not in the game at all. When you boot up the game, it's like menu, choose your level, and like that's it. So
Oh, that sucks.
you can play it on PC or Mac. I would actually recommend it because it's a unique game, and I think it's got good ideas, and it's free, so you can't not recommend it. But I do wish that they would
I could not recommend
they
it.
would
Yes.
they would input the trailer that they have, because they have a really cool trailer which explains the background of what happened to Noelle and why she's broken up into two parts.
Maybe we'll put that on our Facebook page then.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't know if they're doing enough unique things with it, but and the controls are it almost feels like it should be a 2-player game, you know, like one person should be the ghost, one person should be the zombie,
Sure.
and you play it through that way. But I would recommend it. I think it's a pretty unique game.
All right, so Kyle, your game.
Over My Dead Body.
Recommended.
Yeah.
My game, just type this. Recommended. Nathan.
Zombie Tactics, not recommended.
Okay.
Womp
Womp.
womp. 5 answers. I go second in the quiz.
Okie dokie.
According to Metacritic, which Assassin's Creed game has the lowest critic score? Assassin's Creed 1, Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, or Assassin's Creed Unity?
Unity.
Unity.
Dave got it.
Boom. I think I tied that up too, by the way.
I think so.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's actually not that close, for surprisingly. Unity.
I bet
is
Unity
the
would
lowest.
be the lowest, and then number 1 would be the second lowest. After that, I feel like 3.
2, 3, 4.
No, I think 3 would be third, and then 2, then 4 maybe, or then
Okay.
4 and 2. 2 and 4 I think might be interchangeable.
Yeah, 2 and 4 are the highest rated.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 is the highest, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I thought 2 might be the highest. That's why I was like backtracking on that a little bit. Anywho, go on. What are the games?
I'm second. The games this week are And the Moment Is Gone, Sabotage, Louder Than Thunder, Gentrification Tycoon, and Tess.
Tess?
Tess.
TSS. Okay.
Louder Than Thunder was on last time. And I'm curious. What was the first game you said?
And the Moment Is Gone.
I'll take that one.
Okay. I'll take Gentrification Tycoon.
What was the second game you said?
Sabotage.
Yeah, Sabotage. I want that one.
All right. So we've reached the Weekly Trope section of the podcast. This week's trope is Damaged Sponge Boss. Damaged Sponge Bosses are... Let me check my notes. The absolutely most... This is a weird wording. The absolutely most basic type of boss monster with much higher health than standard enemies. Basically, they're the type of boss where you play your way through the game, killing guys, and then you can reach the boss, and you just unload bullet after bullet into them, and they don't really seem to be fazed by it. Dave, what would be your pick for this trope?
I would choose Sephiroth in Final Fantasy VII / Kingdom Hearts.
Nice.
I do a slash, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But he's the final boss of the Final Fantasy... Well, Final Fantasy VII. He's hard as hell.
Yeah.
It sucks. But in Kingdom Hearts, which is a mix of Disney and Square games...
He's
Enix
not
at this
the
point.
final boss, right?
Not in that, no. He's actually in Kingdom Hearts. This is where more I chose him of, but I figured I'd choose both because he is kind of his bullet sponge in Final Fantasy VII as well. In this, he's actually kind of he's a final boss of the arena mode.
Oh, the
of Hercules
the
is
Colosseum.
like Colosseum. Thank you. And then he takes forever to beat.
yeah.
And I actually never beat him. I've only seen videos of people beating him, and I think my friend Alex beat him. I think Mike beat him too, my brother, but I can't remember. Anywho, point is that like he can kill you in like 1 or 2 hits, but he takes half an hour or longer to beat himself.
Yeah.
So stock up on potions, stock up on elixirs, all the stuff that you need, because it's a hell of a fight. And he's an awesome boss, like in both games. Like he's intimidating, and it's awesome. Like at least they gave him a reason for being like a bullet sponge.
Yeah.
So he's my ultimate choice.
I think the worst bullet sponges are the ones
Sephiroth.
where they're regular people. Like for the most part, Sephiroth.
Yeah, Sephiroth.
He is like a regular guy. He's not like a dragon demon made out of rock who is 2 stories high and is just like breathing fire or whatever. He's like a regular guy for the most part, and it's frustrating when you see him and he's your height and he takes 50 times more hits than any other enemy in the game, you know? Like I think that's when this trope is the least effective. Or I mean, it's
like
it's
appealing.
an effective trope.
It's like you're like, that's a guy. I should be able to shoot him in the head and he'll be dead.
Yeah, it's like when games when they're set in reality, and the boss is a regular guy in a suit, and it takes him way more hits than the grunts you've been playing through the entire game, because he's the boss. He's the final boss. So for some reason they give him more hit points than other people, but he's a regular guy.
Yeah,
So-
well, that they have to make it video gamey, obviously.
Yeah. But what about you, Nathan?
My damage sponge boss is the corn boss in Castle Crashers.
Nice. I
Yeah,
saw that on
good
the
one.
list.
Yeah. It didn't come to mind initially.
You're
but
watching the video right now.
yeah, I'm watching the video right now. It's been so long since I played that game.
Oh,
and
I
I-
should play that game later.
I love that game. It's such a good game. He's not like a particularly intimidating boss, but he takes hits.
with the best of them.
Yeah, and he disappears a lot.
Bless you.
Excuse me, sorry.
Keeping that in.
Yeah. So him moving around and seemingly taking less damage than other bosses makes him feel like a damage sponge just because he takes so long to beat compared to the rest of the bosses in Castle Crashers.
Yeah.
And that's a game that I love. I feel like he was probably the most annoying boss in that game.
Nice.
Yeah. Outside of the last boss, but he had like 3 forms, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not fair. So my initial answer for this trope was actually the Keeper from The Evil Within. I don't know if you've started playing it yet, Dave?
I just started.
Okay, well it's a boss / enemy, regular enemy, because he turns into a regular enemy later on in the game.
Oh, jeez.
He's a butcher and he has a safe for a head, like a
interesting.
Just like the chainsaw guy with the sack for a head in Resident Evil 4.
kind of, but he also he has a meat tenderizer as a weapon, and he's got like
Yeah.
a bloody smock, and like when he gets introduced into the game, he like hits his head with a meat cleaver or the meat tenderizer, and he's like fucking badass. But he takes so many hits before he goes down in one particular part in the game, and it's just fucking obnoxious. But I think my real answer is from Candy Box 2. There's an enemy in that game that has 1 million hit points.
yeah.
Oh, my God.
Called the Teapot, and and you saw that from the page.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the time you reach him in the game, you're probably dealing about 300 or 400 hit points or damage per second. So it'll take you at least an hour to beat him. And the thing is, he doesn't do any damage to you. So it's just when you want to kill him, you just set your guy on him and just let your computer go.
Perseverance right there.
And there's a YouTube video that I saw, and it's about an hour, and the game just sits there
Oh, my
and
God.
and beats him for an hour, and it's just so funny because the game is really poking fun at this trope, because it's just a guy who has just a ridiculous amount of hit points. Who I don't remember what you get when you beat him. I think you get some sort of special weapon, but you really have to endure this hour-long battle of really doing nothing, because that game, it's not a Twitch-based game. It's just you setting your character to attack, and that's all you do for an hour, and you just watch it whittle down this million hit point character. So
Ugh.
I think the Teapot is probably the most the sort of quintessential bullet sponge, damage sponge boss.
That's a good one.
Destiny has a lot of bullet sponge
Yeah,
bosses. Nathan and I went through that
that
today.
with
As
the,
it were.
with the new bosses too.
No, actually, it was a strike from the original game. We didn't even play the.
Oh, the
Well,
well,
four-legged
it was-
walking mech guy.
No.
No, it was the
You're-
moon boss. I can't think of.
You're
his
talking
name.
about the guy who shoots the purple laser beams?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
It's the guy who's chained up. That
Yeah.
guy's
Yeah.
awesome.
but he's definitely a bullet sponge.
Yeah, pretty much.
like
Yeah.
a lot of the bosses
I,
in that
I
game.
think the big examples of bullet sponges are the bosses who don't seem affected by what you're pumping into them,
Yeah.
and that's annoying as shit for
Yeah.
the most part.
I
It's
feel like that's a lot of the bosses in Destiny.
yeah.
RPGs have a lot of bullet spongy bosses, but I don't feel like it doesn't feel as bullet spongy as like first person shooters do.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
because
But they are still like Sephiroth.
Yeah.
but yeah.
For sure.
Anyhow,
Anyhow. So that'll do it for episode 108 of On the Rocks. Make sure to follow us on Facebook at On the Rocks Podcast. Please give us a review and rating. We're also on Facebook at On the Rocks Podcast and On the Tropes. Not On the Tropes. TV Tropes.
TV Tropes.
On the Tropes is another podcast.
It is another podcast.
Spoiler.
On TV Tropes.
We're also on tvtropes.org, where you can find all the tropes we talk about on our show. And we're also on indie-love.com. Nathan, where can they find us on Twitter?
We're on Twitter at Giant Robot Party. Dave, where are we on the interwebs?
Speaking of Giant Robot Party, you can find us at giantrobotparty.wordpress.com. Spooky.
Next week, we're talking about the newest entry in the Call of Duty franchise, Advanced Warfare. We
Might have had a little bit of a preview of that today.
Yeah,
Who knows?
We hinted at it a little bit tonight.
Hints. You have to look hard to find out what our hints are.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else? That's about
That's it. Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's good.
Maybe a guest star. We'll see.
Really? That would be.
We'll see. We'll see.
Can you?
We'll see.
Okay.
Maybe.
I'll be happy.
Okay. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
This is Kyle.
This is Dave.
And Nathan.
Signing
off. Boo.